Kenyans are largely escapists, and I say this because every so often we have the National Prayer Day. And it's a National Prayer Day with healing and reconciliation as part of the buffet served during the prayer day. Now, normally when we have the National Prayer Day, we have every leader of this country attending the National Prayer Day, from the head of state to his deputy, to members of parliament, to governors, church officials, and even corporate entities. They all attend the National Prayer Day. The intention for the National Prayer Day is good, and we should actually encourage people of goodwill to actually meet every so often to wish the country good and to pray for that which is good. However, the same elements that turn up during the National Prayer Day to pray for healing and reconciliation in this country are the same individuals that drive a wedge between people in this country. The same individuals who oversee corruption in various institutions of government and the private sector come to the National Prayer Day to pray for the country. So we have a problem, we have a disconnect, because now, whereas a Kenyan is supposed to demand for answers from these leaders, this Kenyan is subdued, intimidated into submission by the element of prayer and reconciliation. It's like you're being told, don't ask, don't demand for answers, let us pray, it shall all go away. You see, now that is a problem that we have, because we end up looking at our leaders as symbols of prayer and reconciliation, while the same particular individuals will drive from that particular venue, pick up a microphone at a public rally, and drive a wedge between people. We have witnessed our leaders, our national leaders, running to church every time we have national conversations about anything from corruption to disasters to governance. Article 8 of our Constitution clearly calls for the separation of church and state. And the logic being that being a secular nation, we have people from different religious backgrounds. We have the Hindus in this country, we have the Muslims in this country, we have the Jews, we have Christians, and within the Christian faith we have various factions and denominations. As a secular nation and as a cosmopolitan country, we cannot risk a situation where we lock out people of different faith because the president of this nation professes to one faith or the other. Kenya has just come out of a very tumultuous political period. The embers of mistrust and of tension in this country were only quelled when we saw two opposing sides come together and promise and swear to working together for a better country. The immediate result was a calmness that took away the tension that was in the country. We have people talking about the economy starting to revive itself, just from an act of a handshake. Now, had these two entities maintained hostilities amongst one another, no matter the number of prayer services we had in this country, we were not going to heal as a nation. So we find a situation in our country where leaders fail every day to deliver and to be accountable. And whenever failure occurs, the most probable thing that they're going to turn to is prayer services. Every other day, we witness and we read about the clergy being involved in corruption, in sexual allegations, in pilferage, in divisive politics, whilst the masses submit their consciences and will to these people who are supposed to herd them to a place of prosperity and justice. Do prayers work? Or are the actors in these prayer services genuine in their quest to bring this country together? So you find that we as a nation also need to really start auditing. What are these prayer services really set out to achieve? Kenyans did not vote for a new constitution to surrender their rights to matters of faith. Kenyans do not turn up every 5 years to vote for leaders only for these leaders to surrender their leadership to matters of faith. There's something called cause and effect. If I fail to account for money that has been disbursed to me to run projects, if I oversee resources, public resources, being plundered by my officers, by my subordinates, I will most definitely not have any results in the project that I have been tasked to oversee because the funds are just not there. So what we're going to have is a failed project that has everything to do with mismanagement. Faith has no place to play in this particular instance. With cause and effect, it's very clear that if I am not able to manage my resources, my time, and my priorities, then the net effect is I will most definitely have a failed result. Where leaders now turn and decide that we're going to pray for things to resolve while not accounting for their own managerial failures still baffles the intelligent mind. So we have a problem in this nation where every time leaders are unable to account for their own failures, they decide to make it a matter of faith. The challenge with that is that we find escapism through church services and prayer. Administration of a country and governance should actually be separated fully from matters to do with faith.